Okay. All right, Komalji, welcome. Nice to talk to you. I'm out in San Francisco. You're in Mohali, I believe, right?
Right.
And you're at Green Affair at Mohali. Um,
Yes.
and I wanted you to educate us about the value of what you're doing and tell us how different it is from what other people might be doing, both in terms of soil testing and in terms of if we engage farmers uh, as demonstration and teaching farming plots uh, and engage farmers as to what the value of that would be. So first, let's talk about your soil yatra,
Right.
and I'm sure since you're about to get started that you most probably are all full of the subject. So tell us about the Soil Yatra, what you think the value is, what you'll be doing, and what the value is of the soil testing, and how different is it from soil testing that other people do. Okay?
Right. Right. So, first of all, Green Affair is the startup that I work at. I'm the founder of Green Affair. We are incubated at ICER Mohali and the best institutes in the country. So, they're providing us mentorship in terms of market understanding, technology understanding, science understanding, and everything. So right from IIM Bangalore, the journey started to ICER Mohali, IIT Mandi, Punjab State Council for Science and Technology, and PAU itself, Punjab Agribusiness Incubator. So we are at all of these places. Now, the problem is there are two major problems that we are facing today around the world, but our focus right now is Punjab. Punjab soil is dying and it's converting into desert rapidly. The farmer does not have education or the understanding to do anything about it. Farmer is a very important stakeholder in all of this and he has no idea of what to do. People are going and telling him do this test. He's doing the soil test that he's doing are only telling him that it is depleting, the nitrogen is depleting, or phosphorus, potassium, all of these are depleting, and he is simply going and adding urea and DAP. The number of pesticides have also increased that he has to put because pest attack has also increased. There's no immunity in the soil. So first of all, Green Affair educates the farmers. We bring them to the table. We have developed a mobile soil laboratory which has got a big screen on it. It's a 6 by 4 screen where the farmer can actually see the soil test. The test which is happening inside the lab is visible to the farmer. They come to our office also at ICER Mohali and we show them what's in the soil. Mm, ICAR does soil testing in India and all the universities also do soil testing in India. But that's based on soil chemistry, which is available nutrition to the plant. But that's not enough because we need to also test the soil physiology and soil biology because it's the microbes which are going to make the which actually make the nutrition available to the plant,
Hmm.
and depletion of microbes means depletion of soil immunity. So how much ever a farmer knows, I mean all farmers know what's depleting and what's the problem, but they don't know how to solve it and they don't know the root cause of it. They've never seen microbes. Even educated urban people like us, we know that there are more than 1 billion microbes, microorganisms in 1 teaspoon of soil, but we've not seen it. So, unless we see it, we can't even imagine, we can't comprehend this fact. So, we show the microbes on the screen to the farmer. We take that sample, that one drop, put it under a very high resolution microscope, which shows him on the screen what an ideal soil has, which would have a lot of microbes in it, and what his soil lacks. So that brings clarity and understanding. Okay, this is the problem. Now I identify the problem. Then we handhold them. So there are 14 different categories of farmers that we have made a transition plan for. How they will transition from chemical to organic. It will definitely not happen overnight. It's a journey. It's a journey of 3 years. So we handhold them for all these 3 years, and we give them a plan. We also take their GPS coordinates on our system where we can monitor it remotely. I don't have to be in that farm all the time. As we talk, we are working pan India. We have done 200 plus soil testing, out of which 115 are paid test at 12,000 rupees. That's what we charge for the soil test. It's a complete analysis. It's like MRI of the soil. And then we give them the transition plan also. So it's not practically possible for us to be at different parts of India. So we've created a system where we can monitor it from where we are in our office. But first, physical test is important. We need to know the right the microbial biomass and the chemical availability and the physiology of the soil, because based on that only we can make the plan. So that is important. Now, after this, we've met many farmers. We've gone to PAU Kisan Melas, Ambala, Haryana, across Punjab, and we met the farmers. We showed them the van, and we asked them, "Are you interested in something like this, or is just that we are thinking that you need to get educated and you need your seat at the table?" So they were really very happy, and they were like, nobody told us this. We would definitely love to know this, but nobody has told us so far. We didn't even know all of this, so we are happy and we'd like to learn. And they already know, because they work with the soil. They know that their soil is depleting and their cost is increasing. Now, pesticide, insecticide, herbicide are killing urban people also. We are eating that poison. Punjab is the breadbasket of India. And Punjab has the maximum cancer patients. The cancer train runs from Batinda. And that's exactly where we have created our model farm. So our farmer, Hardish Kalsi, he grows guava. He's got a guava orchard. With that, he does some grains and mostly root vegetables. So his soil is, we've done the soil test and we've given him the plan and everything. And he lost his brother of cancer. So he's very committed and he's done it. He's done it. So the model farm is there. But obviously, a farmer has limited resources, plus, there's no market for organic food in India. Thankfully, yesterday I had the meeting with the director Punjab Industry and Commerce, Miss Surbhi, and she said that she'd like to, in Delhi, there's this Punjab house that they have from the government, and they would be sharing the produce which is coming from Punjab in those outlets, so people can see that, yeah, something is happening in Punjab. And they would, if they are Punjabis and they want to support Punjab, then they can buy the produce also, or if there are any health conscious people. So that development happened yesterday. I'm so glad that happened, because even if the farmer grows good quality nutritious food, we need a market. Who's going to buy that food? So we also need to aware the consumers who are buying food. People have no idea of the amount of poison they are consuming in their food. So
I had a question. When you say physiology, does that
right.
mean like clay, sandy,
Yes.
those kinds of things? Peat
Yes.
moss, amount of organic matter.
Yes,
So
exactly that
okay, so it's the type of soil which can
type of.
vary from one region and one location to another. One soil can be more sandy, another one can be more clay and so forth, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
So if a soil is clay, the ability to hold nutrition and transfer the nutrition, the cations and the anion, all of that would be very different from a alluvial soil. That understanding for the farmer is very important. And then how to transition. So these are very important aspects which they don't know of now. They think that it mitti, it's soil, but soil is life. And what is life in soil? So, and which soil will have, like a tall person has more potential to run. Whether he runs or not, that's the person's choice, but with his height he has advantages. So
So
we.
the soil testing that you do, um, how much different is it from the soil testing that uh, a PAU like a KVK person, Kisan, uh, you know, Krishi Vigyan Kendra in a particular district might do? So, and what are you doing that's extra that's needed for organic?
All right. So we've first of all we've tied up with ICR. They saw a van and they were very excited to see that, okay, so you are showing it. They're not showing it. First of all, the farmer can't see what is happening.
So you
So
have the video, so you have
yes,
microscope image on the side of your van where the farmer is able to see and you can show them what they have in their soil.
Yes, the farmer can actually see on the screen what's in the soil. So first we show it, and then we are different on many parameters. We don't work on nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus because we believe that it is already available in the earth's crust. All minerals are available. What make them plant available are the microbes, and they are depleting rapidly. We are killing them because of all the sprays that we do in the soil. So we need those microbes. Without them, chemicals will not work. Urea and DAP will not work if we don't have microbes. Then the package of practice is wrong. They put the chemical first and then they do add microbial cultures also. Then it doesn't work. So so all of these things, these need to be imparted. This education needs to go to the farmer. So PAU does not give this education to the farmer with their soil test. They do organize trainings and programs separately, but still like there are some 8299 soil testing kendra of ICR, but that's not enough. We have 140 million farmers. The reach is not enough, so that also needs to increase. We have already floated the message for soil yatra, and farmers, we getting a lot of messages, and we also getting soil samples. So I mean, there is curiosity, and there is a need that they feel, which is not being solved at the moment with the infrastructure that we have in our country.
Mhm.
So we have very, very educated people in ICAR and the regional PAU or other government centers, but they have a lot of other work also to do. So that impact is not coming, that solution is not coming, and pesticide and insecticide and herbicides are increasing. We need to stop it. We are at a crossroad where we really need to stop it. Otherwise, if you see, it's data. This is not something that I'm saying. This is not out of ideology. It's all science. The number of autistic children has increased 10 times in schools. The number of cancer patients have increased, and it's increasing every year. And the major change that has happened in the food. Glyphosate is a weedicide which is being used in the farms because farmers don't understand the importance of other plants. There is no education there. They think it is wheat because their crop is wheat or paddy. So they want to kill it, they want to remove it, but they don't understand that until unless we have that weed, that's what is holding the microbes and providing the organic carbon in the soil.
So it's
Carbon
like
is also.
so it's like a companion plant that's
Yes,
forming the functions of biologically uh, protecting and enriching the soil.
absolutely. So for a person to grow, they don't just need their parents, no, they need friends also, relatives, neighbors. Everybody contributes in a person's full growth. That's exactly how it is with plants,
Right.
and that education is missing. So that's what we do.
The same thing can be true of insects also, right?
Absolutely.
Can have friendly insects, and with the pesticides and so on, you just kill the friendly insects also, right?
Absolutely. So now they're cutting down all the trees. Punjab has laser flat lands now. The contours have gone from Punjab, which is extremely sad. There are no trees in the farms. So the fungal bacterial ratio can never be equal if we don't have any trees at all. So either the government needs to increase the forest area in every village, or something needs to be done, because otherwise there is no solution to this. Now I wanted to talk about pest also here. A pest life is only 45 days. Pests that we call them insects, and they're very, very important for pollination and for various nutritional availabilities that science do not have a research of. There are only certain things that we know about them, but their role is very critical. They have their timing, when they will come, what they will do, and when they will go away. Now the pest problem is increasing because the host plants on which the pests breed and live, they've been cut down. So there is no food for them. So unfortunately, even though the pest does not like wheat or paddy, it'll inhabit itself there, and it'll chew it off or whatever. I mean, it's not able to do its function, but that's where the destruction is happening. So it's very important for a farmer to understand this cycle of pest, when they will come, what their role is. I'll give you an example. We did Hardish's soil sample, and we had all the tests. We did the soil testing and all. We had the reports. So just 15 days before, it's the time for butterflies and the moths to come, and there it is their reproduction time. Now they came, and this is also time when his guava is developing in the flowering stage and in the initial fruit stage. So he sent me a image that this insect, this pest has come, and it's going to take away all the guava. I said, don't worry. I was sure because I had tested the brick value of his plant, which was 15. If the Brix value of a plant is above 12, which is the ability of a plant to produce sugar, that means a very, very healthy plant. I was 100% sure no insect, no pest will come and damage this, because, first of all, they will only come, they get the signal from the plant. If the plant does not have immunity, if the plant is weak, only then the plants will go and attack it. I told him, be just rest assured, nothing is going to happen. He was like, should I spread Jivamrit? Should I spread Khatti Chhach? Even in organic, there are a lot of wrong package of practices that the farmers are doing. I will come to that next, but let me just finish this. So I told him, nothing doing. That pest is playing a very important role, which I don't know, and you don't know, and nobody else knows. So let those insects be, let the role be done, and then, but they will not damage your plant. That I can tell you with 100% guarantee. Otherwise, I'll pay for your losses.
Mhm.
Thankfully, he heard me. You will not believe, his brick value after 18 days went to 20.
And what is this brick value?
Brix value is the ability of plant to produce sugar. A plant produces many different types of complex sugars to attract insects to take different nutritions like phosphorus. They mobilize these for them.
So what
That's the
should be the brick level for it to be not attract insects?
it has to it's different for different plants, but average, it has to be 12 and above.
So it has to be above 12 so that it does
Yes.
not attract insects.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so there's a chart for different plants. It starts from 8 also. For some citrus species, it is 8. But for guava, it was 12. And his was already 15. And that insect did nibble at some of the leaves, died there, but the brick value increased to 5. That means there was an important role that insect was playing in the nutrition availability for the plant, or stimulating the plant to produce more sugars. We don't know, but that has happened, and he was, yeah. So this happened. So this is very important. Now these are three very important tools that every farmer must have, whether a regenerative farmer or a conventional farmer. One is pH meter, second is Brix meter, and third is the two microbial inoculant maker. So basically, what is happening today in India, those who are practicing organic are making Jivamrit. Now they make Jivamrit in these 500-liter tanks. Sometimes they stir it, sometimes they forget. Basically, what happens, microbes are given food. There's a culture of microbes which comes from Gaumutra and cow dung, and then the food is given in form of gourd and any legume powder, chana or whatever, and these microbes multiply, and then they are put in soil so that the multiplication happens. But here, the most important knowledge, first of all, which is missing, is the carbon nitrogen ratio.
Mhm.
The ideal carbon nitrogen ratio is 10 is to uh, 10 is to 1. For a compost, it needs to be at least 30 is to 1. That's what international scientists recommend. Indian scientists say bring it to 20 is to 1. But nobody does that. Cow dung's carbon nitrogen ratio is 65 is to 1. Now, if you put Cow dung does help in making microbes available, but first of all, there is no food for the microbes. Even if you put them, there is no food for them. Secondly, uh, the way they make Jivamrit is wrong because there is no oxygen available to the microbes. Bacteria multiplies every 20 minutes, fungus multiplies every 3 hours, and protozoa multiplies every 1 week. These are the most beneficial microbes we need in the soil. This education is not available to farmers, and they are making it wrong. They're all doing it wrong. What are they doing when they are making this culture? That culture keeps standing. They think ferment ho raha hai. We did this. We went to many organic farmers' farms also. They were not ready to give us the sample because we told them we will test this and show you what's wrong in it. But whatever they had in their mind, but it was wrong because when the compost starts stinking, that means there's something wrong. The microbes are dying, no oxygen is available to them, and it is converting into pathogenic species. Pathogenic bacteria can only survive uh, in a situation where there is no oxygen availability. So this is what is happening. We need to stop it right away. That is why we've also written to the central government. We have got the collaboration, thankfully. In the soil yatra, we've collaborated with ICAR, and we will be giving this education to the farmers in collaboration with ICR itself, and then we will giving the report. Will be giving this report to the government of India that this practice is wrong and we need to correct this.
Um, I had come across one particular occasion where a farmer had shown Bodo mixture uh, being mixed with gur and some other materials, maybe legumes or something. And this was like in a 50-gallon drum, and they mixed it, the Bodo mixture, and then they spread it in the soil. Is that Bodo mixture, is that something similar to what you're talking about, or is that different?
So there are many different. These are basically species of fungus or bacteria. Scientists identify that Trichoderma is a good species. Trichoderma hazarium, Trichoderma virdi, or Metarhizium. There are different microbes in the soil which have been worked upon. But problem is in labs it is being isolated,
Mm.
and then given conditions. So when a microscopy test happens, it's happening real time. Like the best chemistry test is Rick Haney test and not the other tests which are happening in labs, because they are only telling you the nitrogen availability. We don't want the nitrogen availability, we want the plant available nitrogen availability. So that's missing in labs internationally. But in the US there's a lot of regenerative work happening. Dr. Rick Haney is a very popular person. Then Dr. Elaine Ingham has come with a more advanced technique where we use shadow microscopy. So we see live microbes which are there in the soil. In the labs, a culture is taken, incubated in an amicable environment. Soil does not have that amicable environment. It's very different. So that is why lab tests have their limitations, and a lot of limitations, because when somebody says that soil test is happening from 50 years, of course it is happening from 50 years in a country, then why is our soil degrading?
Mm.
And why cancer patients are increasing in Punjab? Why are farmers getting cancer? So much cancer, kidney issues. If soil test is happening, if the reports are being generated, and if they're being guided properly, then why are we facing this problem? That means there's something missing. And these are the scientists, they are the pioneering scientists who I have taken my education from. And I've also worked in soil. I've been working from past 15 years now. So I know that definitely this is not the way forward. We need to change it, and we need to go and educate the farmer, because a urban person can only buy the produce. It's how much ever education we have, how much ever I educate people on LinkedIn or Instagram, doesn't help, because it's a farmer who is there at the farm. He's the person who is doing it. So we need to educate that person.
Hmm.
Also, now we've traveled across India, we've gone to various different farms. The farm management is missing. So there are a lot of unhygienic conditions in the farm. A farmer does not understand bacteria or fungus. He thinks that it's good what he's doing, but that's not right. He's actually breeding a lot of pathogenic species which are harmful for him. So we need to create a proper system where there are proper tools, proper training given to them, and soil test is the basis of everything, because until unless I know what is in the soil, I can't guide, it can't just blindly be done. You go to a doctor and say that I have cough. Now there can be 100 reasons for cough. We need to identify the right one and then treat it. Only then the impact will come, only then the healing will happen. So everyone is just, yes, species are important, but which one? All nematodes are important, but a orchard farmer doesn't even know we have a whole citrus belt in Punjab. Now if there are root feeding nematodes, the farmer has no idea, because a conventional soil test does not do a nematode test. For a nematode test, he doesn't even know, first of all, what is nematode. So he will have to find out people. And it's so difficult for a farmer to do this. It's not possible. Farms are not highways, not on highways, they're interior in the villages. So
Right.
for them, approach to labs is very difficult. So that is why we wanted to go to the farmers, inform them of all of these things, educate them, and then help them transition, because we transition is possible, is happening around the world. It's not a news anymore. And we've also given our sample now. So wheat, we tried. We grew wheat organically. The yield is same as chemical. It's 25 quintals per acre. We've given it for nutritional testing now. So most probably the test report should come today or tomorrow. Uh, so we'll be able to say that, yield plus nutrition. And even if less yield, nutrition is what is important. We don't eat food for quantity, we eat it for quality.
So you can have different organically grown things where one is more nutritious than the other, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So that is important also, the
Yes.
nutrition. Okay. And these three things that you talked about, the pH meter, there was the
Refractometer, the Brix value test.
spectrometer, and then
Yes.
the third thing was the,
Microbial inoculant.
yeah,
Inoculant maker.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So in this process, um, uh, our whole objective, uh, my whole emphasis to some extent, of course, having read about Green Revolution agriculture all the way since 1980s and having written about it, um, my emphasis had been to try to number two things. One is transition the farmers from green revolution agriculture to organic farming, and that's number one. And the number two was to diversify their crops, get out of wheat and rice. And certainly in the short term, if rice can be grown, sukka kaddu, without excessive use of water, that would help stop the depletion. So anyway, that's kind of been our emphasis. But how do you think that, I mean, so um, the help that you talked about a certain amount of budget to cover these three states, and you will be doing with your mobile van, the Soil Yatra. Um, what would you consider to be success, and what kind of help do you need from us?
Right. So you will have to choose how do you want to support us. We are raising 50 lakh rupees at the moment. So the expense of Yatra is around 25 lakh for three states. Then the cost of soil testing and the equipment. 22,600 rupees is the cost of one set of what I'm saying. One is the pH meter, which is so we've tried many pH meters which are cheaper, which are from some between the range of 200 to 1200, but they're all wrong. The calculation is wrong. It's not correct. Same with the refractometer and the microbial inoculant stirrer. So this is basically a stirrer which is in every lab. Every lab has, because we need to stir the microbes. That movement has to happen. The oxygen needs to move for the microbes to multiply and live.
Just a moment. Lal Singh ji has joined us. Um, Lal Singh ji, we started unfortunately at about quarter to 9, but we are recording this, and Komal ji is educating us big time about everything associated with what she's trying to do. We've been talking about um, uh, all the aspects of soil yatra and soil testing and what is needed by the farmers to transition. So, um, welcome Lal Singh ji. He is the president of Pagdi, of fearless leader and very well dedicated. His heart is in the right place. He wants to help the farmers of Punjab and the water and the farmers and cancer and all of those things. So anyway, Lal Singh ji, you want to say a few words um, before we continue? I'm recording this, so this will be a very good educational video for us.
I am happy to see Komal. The
Hello,
first,
sir.
yes, and because just I saw the invitation and I was without turban. My son was here, my and his family. They just left, and then I said, "Let me see what's going on." I saw that already looks like meeting has started, so I will not put the video on.
Very good, ji. Thanks for joining, Sada. Um, we've had about a half an hour already of recorded video, but
I
we'll
will,
get,
I
uh,
will watch the whole video again, the recorded
Anji, we
video.
will, that video, I will um, have it recorded and downloaded to my computer. Komalji, if it is okay with you, I can post it as a Pagdi educational or or a video on YouTube, which would make the link available to everybody instead of sending them the big file. Is that okay with you?
I'm absolutely okay. Please, we would
Hanji,
love to reach out to more people.
Hanji.
So I had listened to Komal many times, and every time I learned something from her.
Hanji, she is educating me big time. I I thought I knew a lot about all of these aspects of organic farming and having practiced it, organic gardening for 30 years in my backyard in Downers Grove next to you in Chicago area. But the more I talk to her, the more I know that I don't know. And so I've been learning from her big time. And so I think it would be good for her education of us and our core group to understand what she's trying to say. So go ahead,
Lambaji, I will just summarize in one sentence.
Anji.
There is a difference between a amateur and a professional. We are all amateur organic farmers, and she is a professional.
Hanji.
Yes.
Yeah, she is understands the guts of it, and she is explaining to us, and more importantly, she is trying to explain to the farmers what their soil is like and what they need
Yeah,
to do,
absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
that's where the action is, and
I
that's
am fan of Komal. Let me tell you in one sentence.
So, my gratitude to you. Thank you so much. It's very humble of you to say that. It's people like you who started the whole thing. And now we've come and joined the army. And, after working in soil, I realized that I keep hearing that healthy soil contains more living organisms in 1 teaspoon than there are people on earth, but I've never seen it. And if I have not seen it, I'm so passionate about soil. How do I expect the farmer to understand? And then the whole lab idea came, and we created the lab, and we said, no, we need to
Perfect.
show this.
Thank you, Komal.
so. Why don't you go ahead, and then I think after that we'll maybe have a short segment where we can talk about. We've talked about the demonstration and teaching farms, um, and so go ahead and complete what you might want to say about the soil, and then we can proceed to that particular topic.
Right. So I wanted to say that though we know about the microbes in the soil, but most farmers have never seen this. They've never seen this life in soil because no one has taught them that microbes, fungi, nematodes, and protozoa run the soil's engine. And that is what we do through our mobile soil van. Now, decades of urea, DAP, and pesticides have killed microbial diversity in soil. It's a fact, and any scientist will back it in any part of the world. Farmers are stuck in a loop at the moment. Poor soil means more inputs, more cost, and lower resilience. So it is definitely bringing business to some people, but we are all suffering because of it. If we change this, then we want to make it a win-win for everybody, and that's possible. Now we test the soil for soil structure, mineral imbalances, fungal bacterial ratios, and earthworm activity. And then we recommend biology first solutions, because if there is no biology, no input will work, even not the urea or the DAP. Now, we don't believe in guesswork. This is field science meeting the farmer's wisdom. We also respect the farmer for the wisdom that they have, because a lab is different and a farm is different. So, that respect is really important. That's what we do through our mobile soil van. Our lab is powered by microscope and test kits to analyze soil on the spot. Farmers get to see the fungal hyphae, the protozoa, and root health live. Many for the first time. They'll be seeing this for the first time. The test kit has a price, and every farmer must have. And though I feel that it's an investment on a farmer's end, and they really need to be educated on that front also, because the first thing we tell the farmers is, please do not rely on MSP. You have lot of power. You have the potential to earn your buck with respect. There are so many businesses happening. They don't go around raising money, asking people to donate to them. So give them quality product and invest in your business. So agriculture is no, now we, whenever you say the word farmer, uh, what picture comes to your mind? A person who's very feeble, thin, without sleepers. That is not the farmer that we want to show. Definitely not. That's not what Punjab represents in anything. So we want the farmer to be educated person, just like a doctor, and we need the farmer to get that respect, and that'll only come when the farmer has that kind of knowledge. When a farmer can tell you that my wheat has this nutrition, my wheat has these parameters, my wheat has been tested on, so that'll only come once this happens. So that is an initiative. That's what we are trying to do through our soil yatra.
So
Every
how much do you charge a farmer, let's say, for the soil test?
We charge 12,000 rupees. That is our cost. But
Rupees.
if there is a FPO or a group of farmers, then we reduce the price to 5,000 rupees. But that is only because we are supported right now. It is coming, somebody else is paying for that cost. But that's the price. That is how much it costs.
Mhm.
We can't help. This is what it is. And I don't think it's a lot of money. 12,000 rupees to understand what you need to do with your soil and how to grow good quality crops. I don't think that's a lot of money.
Mm.
And farmers are paying. Some farmers are paying. Most farmers will not pay. I know they will not pay right now because they will look for subsidies or something. But let's see. I don't know. We'll try to explain them, and we'll also try to bring in people who want to change the scenario. There are some farmers who are really genuine, like Hardish is really a genuine farmer. He is putting in all his efforts, but he doesn't have money. He's lost 25 lakh rupees for his brother's treatment. So there are cases like this also, where they are ready to put in all the effort and they really genuinely do not have money at the moment. I don't know if you want to come with a loan program or something for the farmers, when if if they can repay you. At least that initial support is important, because without the investment of this equipment, it is not going to happen. It's not possible. It will not happen. How much ever government does soil testing, the solution will not come. The solution will only come with the right education, right equipment, and the right approach. So in Punjab, approach is not a problem. Farmers are ready. They're very hardworking. They're ready to put in the effort. They do lack the money and the resources to do it. We will provide them the resources, but we can't help them with money because we don't have that kind of money. So if you would like to pitch in for that and support them, we can give you a proper documentation, a list, proof of how the work is being happening, because we monitor it from here. So that we can do for you if you are willing to invest for these farmers. And at least we need to create some model farms in major districts in Punjab where other farmers can come and learn.
Yeah,
That's
so when Green Revolution farming occurred, I heard that these Green Revolution, whether it was an agriculture university or whatever, would have these demonstration plots, and on the demonstration plot they would have demonstrate this kind of seed, which would be grown in this way. Here's the fertilizer schedule. Here's the pesticide herbicide schedule. Here's the watering schedule, and this is
Correct.
your input cost, and this is how much you will earn. So the farmer would be there, looking at it. हाँ, इसमें मैं करूँगा तो मेरे पैसे बन जाएंगे, हैं, तो मैं ये अडॉप्ट कर लूँ। तो and then they would have extension agents maybe even go to the farmer, and if they had any issues, resolve issues relating to whatever that particular seed or crop was concerned, you know, and if there was the crop was seeing some certain types of disease or pest attack or something, they would then recommend how you apply this combination of pesticides and herbicides, and it'll solve your problem, you know. So they went through that, and I was just thinking it would be good to have a demonstration
Mhm.
and teaching plot at least close to the farmers who are trying to do this, and you would do the same thing. And the other thought was that if they can keep a record of the economics, the same thing kind of thing that these these extension farms were trying to demonstration plots were trying to do. I once saw one that was a few thousand acres near IIT Kanpur actually, um,
Mhm.
and had visited it once because I have even when I was doing an engineering student, I was had some interest in these things. But so you've talked about two farmers. If what what can those farmers do for demonstration and teaching, and how will you manage them, and how could you feed back to us what they are, you know, uh, how many farmers and what are they teaching them and what the benefit is, how many are transitioning, etc. I mean, can there be a process of not only them doing demonstration and teaching, but some feedback so that we know how much resources that we are putting in to them, you know, and for yourself to be monitoring and visiting and evaluating them, and maybe even training them, because maybe their farm might also need the same kind of process, and you could demonstrate to the farmers, हाँ देखो इनके मॉडल फार्म में हमने सॉइल टेस्टिंग किया, ये किया, और इनको हमने ट्रांजिशन, we taught them how to transition, and this is what the result has been, or something like that. I'm just talking out loud. Can you talk a little bit to that process?
Yes, you're talking with lot of clarity, and already you are actually you know how it goes and how it's supposed to be. So this is exactly what we will do. We will have the model farms, and we'll first train the farmers with science. So they do the hard work, and we give them the reason why this is happening, why a pest attack is happening, why the leaf is turning yellow, why these insects are coming at this time. Yeah. So the microbial intelligence about the living soil, the ecology restoration, the importance of birds that come at different time and their role, all of these things will educate them. And we'll create model farm where other farmers can come and take education from, where these farmers will be educating. Once they've taken the training from us, they will take it forward to other farmers, and we can monitor it. We can give you the coordinates of the farm. You can also see it
So can there
from
be
where
like
you.
some sort of feedback as to how many farmers, what kind of education or what kind of thing they got at the farm, or what kind of information was disseminated to them, and maybe after 6 months to a year, what kind of what those farmers, whether they did actually transitioned, and what the success rate was, etc. You know, the, I don't know, just some sort of effective feedback so that we know what kind of return, actual benefit we are getting. We want to be having some actual benefit and impact.
Right.
The ideal thing would be all the farmers of Punjab doing organic farming, 100%, लेकिन अगर 5% भी हो जाए to begin with, 6%, 7% हो जाए, if we can, get some idea as to what kind of impact we are having, that would help us.
Right. So only after the yatra I'll be able to give you the exact number of farmers that we will be able to where we'll be able to create the model farms. As of now, with my conversation with you and Lal Singh ji, we've identified two farmers. We can 100% say that they are genuine people doing genuine work, and they will continue to do it, and these can be our model farms in Punjab for the moment. In this yatra, we are covering many districts and areas of Punjab. We will meet many farmers. We will look, because first I also need to be sure that yes, these people are committing to what we are envisioning. And then after the yatra, I'll be able to give you exact percentage or the number of farmers that we can convert. But for now, I know many farmers who are doing organic with little support. We will have many farmers in Punjab. I think we will be able to convert at least 50% of farmers by the end of this decade in Punjab, who will be practicing organic and nutrient rich food. That we'll be able to do. That I can assure you. All the documentation, it's going to be all transparent thanks to AI now. You can see it for yourself. So the documentation will be maintained, the education which is being imparted, the training, the tools used, the expenses incurred by them, the increase in their income, the increase in organic carbon, because organic carbon is really low in Punjab. It is 0.2, 0.3. So we need to take it to 3%. So that will be able to do the increase in organic carbon, the increase in biodiversity, the increase in yield, the increase in farmer income, the increase in microbial biomass.
Increase
That
in,
these all these parameters.
increase in nutritious content,
Right.
nutrition
That's
content of the crop.
right.
Lambaji,
Uh,
can you give me a couple of minutes? Because Komaji said farmers have to do some investment. So are you suggesting that they will keep some test equipment like pH meter, or what the investment was for?
Yes, yes.
And
The equipment for the pH meter, the refractometer, and the microbial inoculant maker.
I see.
there are like 3 meters that she
And
talks about,
then they have
the
to
instruments.
learn. They have to also learn how to use that meters.
We'll teach them. It's
You
not
I see. Okay.
rocket science.
And how much is the investment, all the three instruments together?
These instruments cost somewhere around 22,600 rupees.
Okay, so 25,000. Let's put it. Okay, continue now.
Okay, Ji. So I think we'll kind of, in a sense, if you want to summarize, um, unless you have something significant to say, I think we've covered the two topics. We've covered soil yatra, and we've covered that. We would be thinking that since you are on the ground and you understand the reality of the situation, that you would be the best person to manage and provide feedback as to how the process is going. We have um, probable problems with the transfer of funds through because of FCRA rules, but we can figure out how to help if the core group of Pagdi decides, um, and we'll hold that meeting next to get the feedback from the Pagdi core group. Um, and I will share this video with them so that they can be educated, all of them. And Lal Singh ji has can also view the whole video and educate himself about what you have talked about. You want to do a quick wrap up, and then we can um, wind up our meeting today.
Sure. So please share this with people. Soil Yatra will be live across all the social media channels: Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It will be live. You'll be able to see the impact that we are being able to create, and also you will be able to see what the farmers have to say. What is their inclination, whether they're really interested in it or not. That also you will be able to monitor and see, because we'll be showing everything live many times in a day. So my request to you is to please share this with people who are active, who love Punjab and who want to bring a change in Punjab, because we are committed to bring the change. And definitely we need, right now it's, we need to mitigate this. The soil is converting into desert, and it's not a joke, it's something very, very serious. We need to stop it, and this will happen from agriculture. So we'd like you to support, share, if you all
One,
are on.
one thing that struck me also, Lal Singh ji, you can comment on it. We have a very good social media person called Jashandeep, and
Mhm.
we can share his contact with you. And Jashandeep posts things very regularly on Instagram for us. Especially, we've been doing organic kitchen gardens for farmers, and which is even a farmer who has just a small plot of land in their backyard, just doing growing some produce for themselves, um, and but he posts this on social media quite a bit, and we had recently our fourth anniversary or something like that. So I'll put you in touch with Jashandeep ji, and you can be feeding information, and that way, besides what you do, um, we can be directly also that can go get to our particular farmers. A principal manager in Faridkot is Jaspal Singh ji, who's a very honest, very dedicated, and luckily very good person. So we'll put you in touch with Jashandeep, and uh, that way um, you can be um, feeding some information of an edited mode, which we can use to distribute to our farmers. Um, we have Faridkot, Bathinda, and what are the three districts? Muktsar,
Muksar. Muksar.
Bathinda, and main place being
Yes.
Faridkot. So
Faridkot.
that's where the activities are. We've had both this organic kitchen gardens, and the past year or so we had poultry activity for those desi RIR chickens, you know. And
Right.
I think the things that you had said in difference between compost and hummus was really good. But anyway, let's wind up. And
Lambaji, give me a couple of minutes.
Anji,
What I understood from this small introduction, कोमल जी,
जी जी. Yes.
ऐसे है कि
जी
जैसे आपने जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट बताए हैं,
जी.
the way you said, we want farmers to be educated and knowledgeable.
Right.
Average farmer is not up to your expectation, but
Right.
we have farmers. I have some NRIs.
Right.
They are financially very strong and educated, highly educated. So I have a person who is head of the department of civil engineering in Stanford University.
Mm-hmm.
So he had about 20 or 30 acre of land in Abohar.
Mm-hmm.
So we have similar many NRIs who would appreciate your ideas, not
Right.
average farmer. So
Right.
I'm going to pick up all those farmers
Mm-hmm.
and tell them, please set up this model center in your farm.
Right.
And they will be our ideal propagator for your
Okay.
message. I mean, what you are trying to do, they will appreciate and they have the financial resources. And I will try to pick as many as possible, not only two, more than two.
Right. So, sir, please connect us to the farmers who are already, because I'll just quickly tell you that we are going to Fatehgarh Sahib on 29th, and then Patiala, Sangrur, Mansa, Bathinda, Muktasar, Fazilka, Firozpur, Kapurthala Belt, and then Mohali and Ropur. This is our Punjab route. If you have these farmers, or if you know people who are in these areas, please, they can get in touch with us. We'll be doing live test, and if they have done something to their farms, we can do the test for them there.
Sure. Do let me first contact this for Lambaji. Please create that video, put it on the Zoom, wherever. So these farmers, which I have in my mind, I will share this video, today's video, with them, and try to talk to them. That's what we need to do, and because bulk of the farmers, I have now 4 years of experience, I mean, dealing with them. So, uh, average farmers doesn't understand much.
Right.
He only understands chonna and kanak, bas. वो
Hmm.
मोनोकल्चर के बाहर वो सोच नहीं पा रहा है. तो जो सॉइल क्या है वो भी भूल चुके हैं. वो वही कर मतलब लोग अपने जो उनके ग्रैंडफादर पेरेंट्स करते थे वो भी भूल चुके हैं. अभी ये लास्ट 15-20 सालों में जो पीएयू ने सिखाया है वही वो करी जा रहा है. तो लेकिन ये जो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की कॉन्सेप्ट है, इमीडिएटली दे थिंक ओ इसमें तो कोई फायदा नहीं होता, नुकसान है नुकसान. देयर एवरेज फार्मर इज रिलक्टेंट टू लिसन टू ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग. लेकिन
Right.
जो पढ़े लिखे हैं वो कहते नो इट इज द राइट वे टू डू एंड दे आर वांट टू अडॉप्ट इट. एंड इसके अंदर मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी फॉर फर्स्ट 3 years, बट देन द पाथ इज मच इजियर टू ट्रेवल. सो हमें उस तरह के फार्मर्स जो लीड रोल प्ले करेंगे वो मैं सिलेक्ट करके आपको कनेक्ट कराऊंगा.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
यस. ओके जी.
Okay, thank you, Lal Singh ji, and thank you, Komal ji. This is very educative. We will share this video with our people, and Lal Singh ji, as she has said, we will share it, and we can use this as a resource to let us know what you can do, and then we ourselves will talk about, internally with our core group. Okay, so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much
Komalji.
थैंक यू.
for your
And
time. Thank you, Lal Singh ji.
नहीं
Thank
नहीं
you,
नहीं,
Harila
आई
bhai.
शुड
Thank you
थैंक
so
यू.
much.
कोमल जी मुझे आपको थैंक यू करना चाहिए क्योंकि आई
and
हैव लर्न
may
फ्रॉम यू.
and may Vaheguru and Ishwar be with you in your Soul
यस
Yatra. And
Thank you.
always, Pavan Guru, Pani Pita, Mata Tat Mahat. Okay.
यस.
Thank you.
Sat
Ji.
Shri Akal ji.
That's
Thank you.
right. That's right. Okay.